at least we know they're rebuilding. For better for worse, this is going to be a monumental day for the Blackhawks. I mean, now it hurts, but I mean, the draft picks, like I'm really rooting for them. I'm cheering them on, and we can go through each draft pick. The cool thing is we recorded each of our reactions. The first one, Kevin Korchinski, we weren't necessarily expecting, but after it kind of sat in for a little bit, and then you go. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, with the Korchinski pick, the big thing that we talked about afterwards is, like, looking at who they picked at 13, which was Nazar, which I love that pick personally. It makes a lot of sense, and you saw that Anaheim picked Michikov.
Yeah.
So at 10, so that makes me think that Korchinski probably would have went at 10 as well. And also San Jose traded out at 11, so maybe they were looking at him too, and he was not there. So he probably wasn't going to be there at 13 in their eyes, so they took him at 7. That's fine, considering who you got at 13, but I just feel bad for the kid, because the kid literally has to be fucking great, or else no one's going to care. Like, I feel so bad for him. Like, geez.
And literally, the player pick before him was David Jiricek, and the pick that they got him with was the Blackhawks pick from the South Street. Which, by the way, not to beat a dead horse, David Jiricek now, Cole Sillinger, Adam Boqvist.
Yep. And Jake Bean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, like, again, we're gonna move on from this. We're gonna try to be more optimistic.
We can get to the happy stuff. I mean, fuck, we were super excited when Nazar got picked. That's the reason I don't have a voice right now.
Yeah.
Like,
so I'm gonna play the reaction of the Korchinski pick. I think I have it to the right time, but I just want you need to hear the ending of this. Hang on, I'll just cut it. Make sure it's a full volume. There we go.
With the 7th overall pick, the Chicago Blackhawks are proud to select from the Seattle Thunderbirds, Kevin Korchinski.
Oh my god, I laugh in pain. No, but again, kind of go back to the Korchinski pick. Like, I feel like
he's exactly what Kyle Davidson wanted going into the draft, and we both said that. He's a 6'2" left-handed defenseman who could skate like the wind and fucking score, or at least contribute to scoring.
Dude, he had 61 assists in like 67 games.
And he had a great playoff for Seattle.
Yeah. Was their minutes leader, led them to the Western Conference Final, or no, to the final against the Edmonton Oil Kings in the Western Hockey League, I should say. I think we saw the Scott Powers tweet, like they wanted Nemec or Jiricek. That didn't happen. I feel like if they got it to number 5 in Philadelphia somehow, they definitely would have got him, especially with how the draft went.
Yeah, but they got Cutter Gauthier, guys, and Tony DeAngelo. They're happy, right?
Question: would you rather Cutter Gauthier at 5 or Kevin Korchinski at 7?
I'd probably still take Korchinski, just because we need to. Okay, I don't know, because like we need forwards, but at the same time, like we haven't had a good left.
No left-hand defenseman in our system that we've drafted, like Nolan Allen, Ethan Del Mastro last year, like Tage Harding, even like 2020. Like I love White Kaiser. I don't think he's as good as Korchinski. He's not as good as Korchinski. 2019, Alex Vlasic. Like again, I think all the guys, like Isaac Phillips as well. Like I think all these guys could be regular NHL defensemen. None of them are really close to having the upside of Kevin Korchinski. And we heard, and again, Kyle Davidson, also Luke Richardson. He says he wants big mobile defenseman who can move the puck. Kevin Korchinski fits that bill. Not all of that. Like this guy's still coming into his own. Like he's a late June birthday. If you're gonna take the swing for defenseman, let it be Kevin Korchinski. Again, 6'2" defenseman, left-handed, can move the puck. He's only going to get better. Like Seattle's going to have a great team again next year. Like they made it to the final against a very stacked Oil Kings team. We saw Reed Schaefer get drafted, Jordan Gustafson. Like they got a super good team. And we talked about this with Will Scouch. They have Brad Lambert's rights now, and it's a very good chance that he does go to Seattle and plays there. So there's a chance where Kevin Korchinski can take a big step next year. But really, the biggest problem with him is that he has brain farts from time to time. Like
Jake Gardner.
Yeah, Will Scouch said Jake Gardner. I even think Seth Jones. Like you look at him, maybe not super sexy, but like when you see him move the puck, like you notice him. Like he's a big guy. Usually makes the right play, like 99 times out of 10. But that one play, like when he fucks up, he fucks up.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, swing for the skill of the defenseman, I guess, and then they like his toolbox. So you can expand on it. Don't rush him for the love of God.
Do not rush him. He's going to take at least 2 years. before he
Please.
even gets like a time in the
One more
NHL.
year in Seattle, one
Yeah.
more year in the A, and then
Yeah,
maybe
at
we're
least.
talking.
Yeah.
Like, don't
Well, that's
rush
one
these
thing
picks.
Davidson has shown. Like, he's not going to rush this guy. He didn't rush Reichel, even though he did get
Like,
time.
at this point,
Yeah.
Reichel shouldn't be in the NHL.
No, he should not.
The
No.
team's going to be fucking shitty. He
Yeah.
should not be up.
Keep him away from that. Keep them in Brockford, where
Yeah.
they actually made the playoffs this year.
Exactly.
I don't know what I was going to say next, but yeah, Luke Richardson's going to, again, like Luke Richardson said in his interviews when he came in as coach, that he wants these mobile defensemen. I'm just thinking of the fact of Kevin Korchinski. Like, I think he's going to love Kevin Korchinski.
Mhm.
Like, they also have other guys that are big, like Alec Regula, who they acquired in the Brantford League. Like, they
Our
have
other first-round picks,
Yeah.
6'4" right-handed
Mhm.
defenseman. Like,
Mhm.
they like their size on their back end, that's for sure. Like, they see how Tampa got built. I mean, they're built all through size on their back end. Guys like Hedman, guys like Chernak, guys like, McDonough and Sergachev are still pretty big dudes. Like, that's how you build a good defense nowadays. I mean, they're not wrong. Like, granted, like 5 years ago, people thought, like, it was going to be like 5'11" puck movers.
which is what they did at the 2018.
Yeah, that's not the case. Quinn Hughes is the only one that really can do that at his size.
Yeah.
It's just, you need size on the back end nowadays. And if he can bring that with that skating ability, that's going to be a nice
Puck-moving
add.
ability,
If he
too.
can be a 2 or a 3, that's going to be a nice add. I'm not going to say he's going to be a 1 because I don't think he will
No.
be.
The big thing with him, he compared himself to Shea Theodore. I think there's a lot of similarity in their games. Both Seattle Thunderbird Korchinski went way higher. I think Theodore went like the late 20s. But again, like Anaheim drafted him. They took their time with him. He went through played in the CHL for a couple of years, played on the World Juniors. There's a good chance he might play on the World Juniors, especially if his point totals go up.
Mhm.
He spent a couple of years in their Anaheim's AHL team. I think he only played like a year or so with Anaheim. Like he did, I don't think he had played like a full 82-game season with Anaheim. But you've seen how good of a defenseman he's become in Vegas. So if he can become anything close to that, I think that's a great draft pick. But I mean, wasn't the player that I wanted to pick? No, I think both you and I really wanted Matt Savoy. And at the time, we were like, oh, come on. But then you realize the context of the rest of the draft, like all the defensemen that were going, because like Nemec and Juracek, those are the top two defensemen. Whatever
Fuck,
order you
Nemec
want.
went second.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm. Then there's like a tier below. If you were to take a swing, it was going to be Kevin Korchinski.
yeah.
Definitely.
Because, like, and then the defenseman went at 12, too. Because,
Yeah, because Mintyukov went to Anaheim at 10, and then
Matejchuk.
Columbus got Matejchuk.
Yeah. At 12. And then,
I think Korchinski has the highest upside. I think I have any of those three defensemen. I think I had him 17 on my list, but not really because I didn't like him, but because there's more players that I think that should have gone that are better and that I like him more. But I like it from swinging from an upside side, and I'm sure on Kevin Korchinski. Like you saw his reaction.
the Scorcher,
torture, baby. By the way, before we get into the other draft picks, I think the Blackhawks had the best vibes draft. Like their draft class passed the vibe check.
They're all cocky as shit, and they got a chip on their shoulder, and I love it.
Love it. Fucking love it. We talked about this with Emily Kaplan. Like, we need more players with personalities, and I think we saw that this class.
100%.
On to the next pick, Frank Nazar.
I could breathe.
A+++++++. Again,
And we were sitting there like, oh, they're going to take Kamel at 13. Aren't
which
they?
I would have been okay with.
Yeah, but like, we didn't even think they were going to.
No, I didn't think they were going to go Nazar. But what do you think about it? It makes total sense. Like, he can play center. He plays. Again, they got the two guys they got in the top 15 are what fit Kyle Davidson and Luke Richardson bill. They got, again, the puck-moving defenseman that can move with Kevin Korchinski, and then you get a center who plays with pace and energy and has a lot of high-end skill with Frank Nazar. So, again, like, how they got those picks, especially the number 7, not a huge fan of, but the direction they went, I really like that.
Yeah.
Especially from an upside standpoint.
They drafted exactly what they said they were going to draft.
Mhm.
And, I mean, they went upside with that pick, that's for sure. And if any team's going to know how to develop small forwards, it's us. So,
yeah. And again, Frank Nazar is going to the University of Michigan. Do not rush him. Let him take off where he wants, and it's going to be well worth the wait.
Yep.
Anyways, I want to play.
a skill. Hell of a skater. Too.
Yeah. Anyways, I want to play our reaction. This was definitely a lot more better than the Korchinski pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we go.
Nice. Go get your skills. Chicago Blackhawks are proud to select from the United States National Development Team, Frank Nazar.
Awesome. That's why he doesn't have a voice.
I'm happy with that.
Oh, I'm fucking hyped now. Let's go.
Yeah, and like he was pointing at that. Like we mentioned before, Kevin Korchinski was like shocked that he went that high. I remember in the interviews he was like, I was 5, I think, when the Blackhawks won their first Stanley Cup. Like, it's crazy. These guys are 2004 borns.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank Nazar, he was like pointing at the crowd. Like, it was just so cool. Like, these guys got personality. I fucking love that pick so much.
Oh yeah, I do too. That's exactly what they needed. That's a really good forward add to the prospect pool.
That desperately needs that. And not only, like, again, he has that two-way game. He plays with speed, pace, energy, but he has high-end offense.
Yeah, and he's got creativity in his game. He basically is like Logan Cooley light, and that's how he's always been advertised by other scouts. Like, at least in terms of like his like play style and like how he's so creative with the puck and uses speed to his advantage and whatnot. And
he can get into the inside too. That's another big thing. He compared himself to Brain Point, which I think there are some similarities there. If he can even, again, like kind of like Korchinski with Theodore, if he can even be close to that,
you're cooking with grease.
Yeah.
And then we got later into the night, and we were talking to ourselves because we were like, all right, well, the Blackhawks have 3 seconds and four thirds. So they could move up, but we didn't think they were going to move up. Obviously, there's always the cap-friendly jokes of, oh, well, the Leafs are going to fucking trade Mrazek, Abruzzese, and nothing to the Blackhawks.
And Justin Hall.
Yeah.
And Jake Muzzin.
God damn it. But, yeah, the trade ended up going through that we got the 25th for the 38th. With Mrazek in the 25th. So the Blackhawks ended up answering 2 things. They have a goalie going in the next year, which is a big question. And like we talked about this, Mrazek had a bad year last year, but the guy's always been a career like 9-something goalie.
What was he, like an 888? I think he had
he's not going to be an 888.
Like, I don't think he's a great goalie, but he's not going to be that bad. And I think it's a win-win because one, you get to move up, and also like if Mrazek is good, like you could potentially trade that. Like he's only making like $3.4 million.
No, that's
like it's digestible for the Blackhawks.
What did I say? Yeah. I was like, I can't wait till he fucking resurrects himself. We flip him for a second in a year. It's gonna be great.
And then if he doesn't do well, then whatever, it helps the tank. So.
Oh yeah. And the Blackhawks went on to go pick Sam Rinzel with that pick. Every casual fan's just like they picked a high schooler, but
wait, hang on, I'm gonna play reactions for that. I think when we did find out about the pick, I think we found it before because I'm pretty sure the guys like Scott Powers and Ben Cole found out. So like we didn't have like a huge reaction, but I'll play it anyways.
Yeah.
You hear a couple of these in there?
Chicago Blackhawks are proud to select from Chaska High School, Minnesota, Sam Rinzel.
So yeah, when I did my rankings, it's funny because I feel like if Nazar went 7 and Korchinski went 13, I feel like we would have felt a little bit better about that.
Mm-hmm.
But because like Korchinski probably went a little higher than he should have, but then Nazar went lower than he should have. But it's also not surprising because again, like the height, like Korchinski's a big puck moving defenseman. It's not surprising he went to 7, and then Frank Nazar's only like 5'10", so it's actually not surprising he went to 13. Sam Rinzel, like again, I like with Korchinski, like with Nazar, they swung for upside. Rinzel fits the bill. He's big 6'4" defenseman. He's going to take a long time. He's definitely going to take the longest. I think he might even take longer than some of the second-round picks that we took because he played in Minnesota high school. Tons of talent. Like he's mobile, 6'4", right-handed shot. Like who doesn't want that? I think he's committed to the University of Denver. I could be wrong on that.
It's either Denver or Minnesota. It's one of the two.
Yeah, one of the two. We can actually look that up right now. But either way, he's going to a very good development program.
Rinzel had stated that the Blackhawks have been eyeing him for a couple months. He'd interviewed with the Blackhawks the most.
Yeah.
You probably thought they were going to take him at 38, for being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Blackhawks, I think, pointed out that after the Blues and the Wild passed on him, they traded up to go get him because they didn't think he would make it into round 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you have that many draft picks, go get your guy. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, especially when we went with Korchinski and Nazar, I can live with them. Yeah, he's going to the University of Minnesota next.
Yeah. Figured if he's a high school kid in Minnesota, he's not going to leave the state.
Yeah. And again, like if you go to these universities, like Frank Nazar is going to Michigan, like you're in good hands. Like Michigan is continually, like you looked at their team last year. They had how many first rounders and like second rounders that should have been first rounders on that team. It's crazy. Like there's some players that like Kent Johnson isn't there anymore. Owen Powers isn't there anymore. Like I think they still got some guys there. Like Thomas Burlow's on. Like they still got guys there, but Frank Nazar is going to get some time. He's going to develop there properly. Again, take your time with him. No need to rush him at all. Keep him away from this bad team. Same with Kevin Korchinski. But if you slowly bring them up through the AHL, like we saw the step that the Rockford IceHogs took this year. Like we saw the step that even like someone like Ian Mitchell took this year. That's huge now, and like Lucas Reichel as well. You need to do that with Korchinski and Nazar. So yeah,
100%.
but Sam Rinzel, like this guy's gonna take a long time. Again,
He's a project.
He is a project. Like there's still a lot to be left desired about his defensive game.
Hey,
but he's 6'4".
I was gonna say, here's the thing with Rinzel. The Blackhawks on the right side are really set for the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Murphy and Jones are locked up for minimum 5 years.
Yeah.
Don't think they're all going to be here for 5 years.
Yeah.
But until that, it's okay to have a prospect or a project like Rinzel. He doesn't need to be ready in 2 years. Like Korchinski on the left side is a different story. Blackhawks left side is just not good right now.
Yeah, like they got quantity with the left side. They do not have quality. Like Kevin Korchinski, by and far away, is
That's their best
defenseman.
prospect they've had on the left side in a long time.
Like there's a good chance you could be like their best left-handed defenseman since Duncan Keith.
Yeah, no, there's a legitimate chance, honestly. Or Jalmerson, like one of the two.
Not to put pressure on Kevin Korchinski.
No, it's just like
lot, but like
that's just how bad the left side's been for the
Yeah.
Hawks for the longest time. At least in terms of development, like since Jalmerson, they really haven't developed a really good left-hander.
No.
A top 4 left-hander.
Dude,
defense.
did you see-
I guess Forsling, but then they got rid of him. So it's like
even freaking
Luke Carlson.
Yeah. But did you see the stat? Like all of their picks from the 2010s were traded.
Yep. Stan Bowman moment.
Yeah, he should not be named. There's $1 in the jar.
Yeah.
But like, not only did they develop talent, like they rushed them, but they also moved them so quickly.
Rushed them, moved
Yeah.
them, never signed them to second contracts, and then they all went on to be decent players. It's crazy how that works.
Yeah, and finally they're doing it with Lucas Wright. Like literally, like the first pick of the 2020s was Lucas Reichel. That's finally the pick that they're gonna get a ring with. Again, like you left them in Germany, and then you let him take a year in the AHL where he got point per game. He even got a brief stint in the NHL. That's what you need to be doing. Like even Nolan Allen, like we ragged so much on the pick, never on the guy. I think he can be like a bottom pairing guy. Like again, you don't have to rush your time with Nolan Allen. Like I think he still can play another year in the
No one
WHL.
needs to get rushed. This team is gonna fucking reek.
Yeah, exactly. So first time in franchise history the Blackhawks picked 3 times in the first round. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Big day.
Yeah. For better or for worse, we're gonna find out. But you know what? We're rooting the boys on. I really like them.
Yep.
I like the vibes they gave off. Freaking great nicknames too that we came up with them.
Torture, Frank the Tank, Sam I Am. Wait, wash, rinse, repeat. Oh jeez. Fucking man. It's gonna be nice to have prospects to root for, but what's the thing? Like I've won, but at what cost? Or you got your first round picks, but what did it cost? Literally every young asset you had.